Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. Spring is here. We've been talking about it coming. We've been talking about getting ahead of the game. I had a lot of people this week reach out to me, a lot of home sellers saying, I'm not quite ready yet, but let's touch base in April. And I had to remind them, hey, guess what? April is next week. So if you're considering selling your home, April, May, June are your optimal times here in northern New Jersey to take advantage of that spring market. And you really do have, not only on the front end, some lead time for getting your house ready, getting your marketing materials ready, but then on the back end, ideally you would like to leave some buffer between the spring market and when the summer starts to slow down a little bit. So that's important. If you're thinking of selling your home this spring, let's get going. Let's talk now. Before we get into the stats, something very notable would be mortgage interest rates. While we've seen some improvement in inventory and we saw some relief in mortgage interest rates, this war in Iran has seen some sharp increases in mortgage interest rates the past couple of weeks, which has taken a nice hit at affordability. So just a few weeks ago, we were looking at 5.99% mortgage rates for a 30-year fixed. Now we're looking at about 6.5%. So a little bit unexpected and very, very sudden. Hopefully that'll be temporary and we'll see some relief soon. But that's going to be dependent a lot on international politics, and they're the biggest driving factor with those mortgage rates. So that being said, let's get into the stats this week, looking at Morristown, Chatham, Madison, Harding, Marsh Plains, Mendham, Chester, Bernardsville, Basking Ridge, and Randolph. This past week, we saw 61 homes come on the market in these towns. That's a nice, healthy number. That's a 13% increase over last week. Out of these, 42 of them were single-family houses and 19 of them were condos or townhouses. The average list price of these homes was $1,305,000, and that's an 11% increase over the average list price last week. Inventory up ever so slightly, but up yet again. 214 homes actively on the market. We're trending in the right direction. Just a month ago, that would have been very surprising to see this level of inventory. So it's a positive for a more balanced market, and let's hope to see that continuing in this direction. Total homes sold this past week. We saw 17 homes sell this past week. The average list price of these homes was $918,000, and the average sale price was $935,000. So this past week, the average sale to list ratio was 2.6% above the list price. Now, we saw only one town where homes sold below the list price, and that was Madison, where they sold on average 5% below the list price. Keep in mind, though, that was only one sale that sold 5% below the list price. Otherwise, every other town went at or above list price. We saw Morristown, where homes sold an average of at list price. Chatham, 0.8% above list price. Mendham, 1.3% above list price. Randolph, 6% above list price. Bernardsville, 6.7% above list price. And Chester, 8.5% above list price. Average days on market this past week for these homes that were sold was 29 days on the market. That is a decrease from last week. Under contract, once again, under contract, as always, most current, least complete data. Sold is our most complete data, but least current, and under contract is our most current, but least complete data. This is what's happening in the market right now, although we don't know the final outcome of these sales. We saw 49 homes go under contract this past week. That's a 48% increase over the prior week. That's big. Average list price of the homes that went under contract this past week was $1,299,000, and the average days on market was 28 days on the market. That's up 66% over the prior weeks under contract. So we are seeing an increase in those days on market. So we all know we were seeing some glimpses of that warm weather. They are becoming more frequent and more sticking. So that is a huge driver aside from the economic and geopolitical information that certainly is important. man, our consumer behavior is so influenced by weather and warmth and sunshine. So as we see more of that, expect the market to pick up. So thanks so much for checking in with me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys again next week.